cutting garden is just a spot where you allocate space just to grow flowers. Now, it might be to cut and put into a posy, or to fill the house and all the vases with some cherry colour. Now, I've allocated 6 of my garden beds here in the veggie plot to growing flowers, but I've still got plenty of cucumbers growing up, vines and tomatoes and herbs. But the flowers have just been so exciting. I haven't grown zinnias for years. I sowed these from seed. Look at them, they're just going nuts. So successful, I've sowed another batch of seed and they're already starting to come up, bud up and just starting to open. So I will have flowers for months. But I must admit, I've had the greatest success this year with growing dahlias. Dahlias have got to be one of the best perennial cut flowers you could ever grow. They're so reliable. Now, they can be grown pretty much all year round, depending on where you live in Australia, especially from seed. So if you have a look at the seed at your local garden centre, you'll see that depending on where you live, you might be able to sow the seeds now. You can also buy seedlings at your local garden centre, and I've noticed you can get these all year round as well. But they're little short, squat little fellows, perfect for the garden. But if you want these big show dahlias, you'll need to go mail order. And now's the time to get those catalogues, get online and get them posted to you, because by the time they arrive, you can pop them in. This is what you'll get, a whole heap of tubers. Now, this is a potato, but it's also a tuber, actually. It's a type of bulb. But you must have these little eyes. If there are no eyes, you don't get any plants. Now, when they have eyes, this is what they do. They grow like the dickens. Now, when they're this sort of height, you should actually prune them back. So get your secateurs and cut them in half, because that develops 2 stems. If you pinch those back, you end up with 4, and you end up with flowers like behind me here, and lots more to come. There are lots of different flower types. For example, this they call a cactus variety because it's sort of a spiky flower. It's a beautiful white. Then there's this fellow here, which is a lovely soft colour. This is Anne's Delight. White with this beautiful soft lavender around the outside, and lots of buds to come. It's a little bit later than the others. Clarathora is this beautiful plant here, a really big flower, can get even bigger, and the more you cut, the more you get. But notice the strength of the stem. These are excellent for cutting. And this fellow here is called Gange. It's a beautiful, formal, rounded shape, also producing lots of flowers. Again, the more you cut, the more you get. But have a look at this colour. This is Black Nugget. I think it's probably one of the darkest you could get. A beautiful, deep ruby red. Not as many flowers yet, so I'll see just how it goes, but gee, you wouldn't need too many of those in a vase anyway. There's one thing about dahlias is that they're very brittle. The stems grow really well and strong, but if they're exposed to wind, they just snap off and you lose the whole top of the plant. And you've got to protect them all the way up. So as they grew, I crisscrossed, and you can see the cabling all the way through there. But then on the outside, to hold the plants up gently, I've used this jute webbing. Remember, you don't want to crowd them in, so don't pull them in too tightly, because that creates high humidity and you end up with diseases. Well, there you go. The cutting garden is back, and dahlias must be #1 on the list. Seeds, seedlings, or have a look at the catalogues, because now's the time to order all your tubers of these beautiful varieties.